email with insights. You're not really spraying and praying, then, are you? You're making it relevant to them, right? Let's say you're focusing on a certain vertical. Why can't your spray and pray email be related to that vertical and lead with news or insights?
Hello and welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Leads to Growth. My name's Chris McCoy, and I'm your host with the National Association of Sales Professionals. And as usual, I've got another fun guest with us today. And Derrick Jenkins, thanks for joining us. Derrick is the head of marketing for Owler. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, Chris. Great to speak with you today.
Look at Derrick. He's being humble already. This dude just shows up post-COVID, during COVID. He's got it, but he's here showing up anyway. So don't mind the cough. Don't mind. Yep. Yeah, but this is how you do it in sales. This is what leads to growth, is just showing up. So thanks for being here, Derrick. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, Chris.
Awesome. And for all y'all who don't know, Owler is a sales intelligence and business information research company. It's real easy to get your insights from people searching on Google and pulling stuff from LinkedIn and doing all the work and trying to strangle all this data and serve it into your CRM and everything. But Owler has a great system which does most of these things for you and gives you even more insightful insights, I will say, more valuable insights that are actually applicable to sales today. So Derrick, listen, instead of normally I'll give you a little bio, tell all about you, but how did you get here? You've got a great career with Owler. You guys are doing a lot of things over there. How did you get to this marketing spot, and how did you get to Owler?
Yeah, so I joined Owler 3.5 years ago in a sales-facing role specifically, right? So
Okay.
I joined to help them really amplify their advertising sales that they started doing. So interesting fact about Owler, we have millions of people who are part of our community who contribute data to our site, who are part of our ecosystem. And we were able to also market to those individuals as well, right? So I joined Owler to do that. And as well as doing the advertising sales part of our business, I also started selling the actual product to Owler itself, right? Started connecting with the previous head of marketing, working with her extensively, working with the CEO quite a bit. When we got acquired by Meltwater last year and our previous marketer left, I raised my hand and said, I have some great ideas. I want to put a pitch together and take over Gretchen's previous role, our CEO was grateful for me coming forward. I think he said he had me in mind anyway, which was great.
Nice.
From all the stuff I was working on. And that kind of led me into this role. And why I really wanted to take it on was because I've been in sales my entire career, right? And sales is always a one-to-one type relationship, one-to-one type pitch. So I just thought, okay, let's try this new challenge of one-to-many, right? And I love the Owler product itself. I think you nailed exactly what it is. We're a sales intelligence, Owler Max specifically, which is our new product that we launched in April, is a sales intelligence tool that provides salespeople with, tons of dynamic company information. We literally have firmographic data on 15 million companies.
Wow.
Right. So we are able to give salespeople real-time news and insight about those companies when they're happening. So you're able to, prospect easier. You know what I mean? We have a huge competitive graph that shows competitive relationships to each company. So if you're prospecting for one, here's a list of 15 others that are within that same vertical that makes sense for you to go after, right?
I love this.
And now you can track those companies as well, right? And get the latest news and alerts sent to you via an email or through CRM integrations.
Yeah, that's great. That's so beautiful. And this really speaks to the way sales is going. And I love, first off, that you were a sales guy moving into the marketing role. Yeah. And I think I think it's beautiful to understand that the both sides of the spectrum, to have a marketing person who can sell and a salesperson who can market, to understand both of those pieces together, I think is essential. And I also love the idea of sales intelligence. As we move more towards account-based marketing and really building those relationships, finding out when the time to talk to people is so important. Like when is the time to have that conversation? And this is what y'all do, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, we provide you with information about those companies, but not to keep plugging Aller here, but when you set up an account, you're allowed to set up what we call instant insights, which are trigger alerts based off of events that are happening, such as funding rounds, IPOs, product launches.
Why is this valuable,
Awards.
Derrick? Why is this
Oh,
valuable? Not even without Owler, but sales intelligence. what are these insights in moments in time? Why are they valuable to salespeople? Because look, we have a lot of we have sales leaders out there,
Yeah.
we've got salespeople out there. So for all the SDRs and the salespeople out there, just plugging and grinding, sending emails and in nonstop automation all day. Why is this information important?
I think it's the one of the ultimate relationship builders is information, right? Having a wealth of information about what's going on with your key prospects and your key accounts that you're working on gives you all this information to make you sound, it's not to make you sound, to keep you informed and intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
I often say, when you're selling, you want to move from being that average vendor to a trusted partner. And if you're coming to that prospect or that account that you've already been working on with information that's going to help them and information that's going to make both of your jobs easier, you're winning on both fronts. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And it's also too the idea that our customers are more educated now. The prospects are more educated now, that they have all the information to make a decision. It's just who's in their face when it's time to make that decision, right? And that's why this information is so valuable out there. This takes us out of that spraying and praying,
Absolutely. Yeah.
blasting everybody and losing relationships. Now a salesperson can go out there and actually build relationships and then know when it is time to reach out there and offer that extra hand or open that extra door. So what inspired you? I mean, you saw some ideas. Well, what led you into the sales and advertising space? Like to go from, I mean, it is what got you into sales and advertising? It's a very unique space in the world. Like people are either in sales or they're in advertising. You put these two worlds together, and I want to hear a little bit more
Advertising
about that.
sales, right?
Advertising sales, yeah.
Okay. I when I started my career many years ago in New York, I wanted to work in television.
Okay.
I didn't know what capacity in TV, but as I was working for WCBS TV, I ended up in advertising sales. And I actually was interviewing at a couple ad agencies on the buying side. And a few people I kept speaking to, they said, "You're a salesperson. You need to be on the sales side of things." I said, "Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great. Let's go explore this." And I always knew that too, but I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to get my foot in the door, so to speak. So I
That
started off.
world's changing and evolving so fast too.
Exactly, and I thought TV was exciting, it was fast paced. This was way before digital. I'm aging myself here a bit, right? But I thought it was just really interesting and creative at the same time. And for someone like me, who as I've evolved my career, realized I'm quite a commercially creative person. All these things serve me really well.
Nice. And how did you pivot from that TV switch to the web? That was a big
I just was
pivot.
I was just seeing where things were going.
Yeah, very
Right.
good.
My age demographic, everybody was transitioning over to this.
Yeah, and
And
this
I
was a
always
big
like
switch
technology.
for all those who don't know out there or are unfamiliar with this shift. And it was that when ads were only on TV and billboards, they were measured by guessing. How many impressions was a guess? It was hypothetical. And then when everything switched to the internet, it was exact to the T. It was a very, very, very hyper change in the whole industry.
Right.
So B2B intelligence is also a newer, sales enablement tool or newer arena. What's inspired the growth of Owler? In this economy? I mean, you guys have obviously grown over the last couple of years through the
Mm,
pandemic.
mhm.
What's the fuel of Owler's growth?
Um, I think the fuel of it is really, well, I kind of, how can I answer that clearly? I think it's really been responding to market conditions, right?
Mm,
Listening to our customers, again, going beyond just the sale and closing the deal, but following up with those customers, seeing what they see that's best in Owler and evolving that. You know what I mean? So
I
meeting
love that.
customers where they are, understanding what their needs are and how we can work towards that and then grow from there. And it's been
How
working really well.
how much a part of that of your marketing position has been that getting that feedback from clients and whatnot?
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge. I would
yeah,
say huge. It's that kind of information that you bring to the product teams too. You know what I mean? To tell
yeah.
about what next we should look into develop. I think I spoke about it briefly before. Like workflow integrations is everything. Initially, all that Aller data that we were passing to our customers was by but now we're integrating into things like Salesforce and Slack and
Mm,
HubSpot. So again, meeting our customers, salespeople where they are. You know what I mean?
I
Everyone
love
gets
that.
emails, and that's great. But if we could, I think that's going to be that's a lot of the future of B2B. You know, we're seeing these workflow integrations, and they're great. They save you time. That's what we're here to do.
Absolutely. And I love that the integrations of these worlds too, right? The sales intelligence and the CRM, all these pieces have to communicate together for us to really engage and utilize them. Or else they're just another pain in the butt piece of tool or piece of equipment or thing that we're not using. And unfortunately, this happens often. Um, we just had a great interview with somebody about Salesforce, and Salesforce is like the biggest app store. They were the first people with an app store. And so you realize now how integrations, APIs, all these things are kind of the big area of growth for a lot of software companies right now, correct?
I would say so. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
most people are building tools um, to integrate to make everyone's life easier, right?
It's all about time. You
That's
said
really
it
what it
earlier.
comes down to.
Yeah.
It's that's your ROI, right? Time.
Time.
It's a massive ROI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did you go about collecting that information? I think it's very interesting. Um, Salespeople will make changes in their sales process, sales team, sales divisions. Marketing companies will make decisions, on where they need to go. How are we collecting this data? Are they assumptions, or are we doing surveys, or are we meeting with our customers? What is your
But
process of getting that feedback?
it was interviewing customers, right? Asking questions and kind of keeping up on industry trends and see what was going on in the
Mm,
market. You know, that was the clearest way to do it. And
mm.
again, when we're building a sales tool, right, and we have people who are selling, we have our own people to ask, like, what would make it easier for you? You know, majority of my friends are in sales, so I could reach out to them and say, talk about my product and say, what do you think would make this easier? And again, everyone's got plethora of ideas, and you can't, do them all, right? But you can weed out the ones that make the most sense and go from there and continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I got another question that comes up often to me. Sorry, so
Super
someone
sorry.
says, no, no, please, you're fine, Derek. Like I said, man, showing up, that's my favorite thing. I get people calling me all the time. Hey, I'm using this great software, this great tool, whatever, but there's this other tool, but it kind of overlaps with a bunch of the other stuff I'm already using, but it doesn't have this thing. How often do you struggle with the challenge of software overlapping with other software? I find it a very difficult thing. Is Let me give you an example. Look at my HubSpot CRM.
Hmm.
I can use Mailchimp, or I can use Hootsuite, but there's it doesn't have this. Well, HubSpot doesn't have that, and there's all these little overlapping pieces. How often is that a challenge for somebody to take on a new software like Aller? Or do you guys not face that a lot?
We don't, because Aller is pretty easy and seamless. You
Mm,
know, we have millions of people who use our free tier. You know what I mean? Our free tier gives you access to follow a small amount of companies, and the larger tier, premium product gives you access to everything. So we do know the ease of using Aller isn't very
mm.
difficult at
Okay.
all. And any of the integrations that we have set ourselves up with are easy for us to turnkey and get that customer set up as well. But I think your question is pretty interesting, because I think about, how many products are out there that your sales leader or whomever pushes on you, and you wonder if you're going to actually use them, right?
It's a big
Um,
challenge. We're overloaded.
we're overloaded, and there's going to be more, right? And there's going to be evaluations of these products too. And I think it's important as an individual to try not to be overwhelmed with all of them. They're resources, right? This technology is there to help you as a resource to make your day easier. Now, you may not use every facet of that software, but there are clearly good reasons why your leadership team chose it. You know, this might be a bad analogy, but go with me here. So you can buy a new TV, right? And that new TV does so many different things, but you're probably only going to do a handful of the things that the TV offers. Does that mean it's less valuable? No. You just pulled out what you needed from it, right? And then
Absolutely.
eventually maybe you'll evolve to look at other facets of that television, just like any other product. So that's why I say try not to be overwhelmed by everything.
Yeah, I like that. And I think you guys have a great approach as well with that freemium ease
Hmm.
of use. It's not a lot of extra clicks. It's something I can keep open in a tab, and And I don't even actually necessarily have to go to the platform. That's another piece that I enjoy. Um, you see a lot of people switching from traditional spray and pray marketing, these
Hmm.
SDRs out there just mass mailing everybody, to more account-based marketing. um do you see a big shift of this? I mean, do you see this mass harassment of SDRs and BDRs going away anytime soon?
Not quickly. I think there still is a need for mass reach, but um, the need to personalize your outreach is clearly it's A, we know it's working, right?
Yeah.
We know it works. B, it's going to be what separates you from the next guy,
Yeah.
next individual, I should say, right? Um, but I do think SDRs are challenged with hitting a meeting total quota, right? I mean, or a call quota, but there are clever ways to do that, spray and pray without actually doing that. You know what I mean? Leading your email with insights. You're
Mm.
not really spraying and praying, then are you? You're making it relevant to them, right? Let's say you're focusing on a certain vertical. Why can't your spray and pray email be related to that vertical and lead with news or insights from a tool like Owler that can provide that kind of information for you, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's also too, it's it comes with the KPIs that they're measuring. How many meetings did you
Yeah.
set? Well, are we measuring engagement on emails? Are we measuring relationships building, connections, these types of things? Frequency of contact. These are a
Yeah.
lot of different things that I think in concept and idea, it makes a lot of sense. Yet when you're asking a sales leader to make these big principle shifts,
Yeah.
when they're like, yeah, but you're going to tell my manager or my VP, or, that we have to wait 2 or 3 months for things to start turning around again. It's like, no, we need these results yesterday.
That's true. That's
And
true.
I think it kind of goes to that whole same burnout thing. I think we're just trying to chase and do more today than we did yesterday. And I think a lot of people are experiencing that. And
Yeah.
that's why I really appreciate. I love it. I love a good email. I love a good message that is short, that is sweet, that looks like it came from one of my buddies or one of my
Exactly.
friends. Like it just makes my day. I'll set meetings with people just because they sent a few messages that were value add, never asked for anything.
Value add, never ask anything. And also when you're prospecting, not everyone's going to be Bill Murray, right? But put some humor into it. You know what I mean? Have
Yeah,
some fun
man.
with this. I think if you're doing the spray and pray and cutting and pasting and just send anything out, that can get a bit boring after a while,
Oh
But I
my
think
gosh,
I think
yeah.
there's so much creativity in sales, right?
Mm,
I think that's why we do it. That's why you've done. That's why we've sustained ourselves in this career for so long. It's because we found joy in not just winning, but the process.
absolutely, Derek. And you make a great point out there. Like, how unfulfilling are your days when you are just not making any connection with people, not putting any intent behind your messages, and just pushing buttons basically all day, right? And then you're getting the responses that come from that lack of effort and attention and personalization. And then that just makes you feel any worse. And it kind of creates a cycle. And it does take being bold and an individual to go out there and do that, to have some fun on those messages. And you
Yeah.
can see those people stand out from their it's very funny because you say it's because you are a representation of the message you sent. It's almost like you could talk to somebody like, now you sent this message, I'm sure. Oh, no, you definitely sent this form, I know that for sure. But you can kind of see the character in people by the message they send.
I agree with that, and I think in today's marketplace where everybody's getting tons of emails, people are working from home a lot more than ever too.
Hmm.
The message does have to be more tailored, a bit more interesting, maybe a bit more witty, and you figure out that way of doing it. You know what I mean, and take time to also analyze what worked and what didn't work. You
you
know,
know 100%. And it's kind of a full circle here, because the idea of spraying and praying is, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know if they want my product or not. More than likely, if I'm doing it that way, I don't have a lot of value or appreciation for my job, my product, or even if you want it or not. But if I've
yeah,
taken the time to know who you are, find some insights, maybe check out Owler a little bit, and I know that you are in a place of somebody who needs the services and product that I offer, it's way easier to reach out to you. with some fun, with some confidence, with some laughter and some humor. Because why? Because I know you actually, I can come up and be myself. I can be that confident person because I know you need the product, or at least you might be in the area of somebody that does.
Mm.
And
Yeah, that's yeah.
and that
Well,
confidence that I'm able to have because I know who you are and what you need, I think kind of eliminates the ickiness of sales, that little ethical dilemma of reaching out, where I think people don't want to really put themselves in because they don't really know if you need their product or not, but they're telling you that you do. And so I think there's a very interesting dynamic there.
and I like that you said the word confidence, because when you think about what makes a good salesperson, we always think bold and strong, and but it's confidence. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that resilience too, and find another way. And get back up.
But
Um,
resilience is almost like a reflection of your confidence, right? Without
yeah,
confidence, you don't keep getting back up and doing. Resilience is almost like the is he resilient or not? Well, he must have some confidence then. Like it is the test.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and for salespeople, this is the essence of everything.
Right.
This is all of us is being resilient and jumping back on the phone. And so I truly believe that I believe the answer to this shift of spraying and praying to the mass email, to the automation and stuff, is really better training. It's better onboarding. It's better mindset training and mindset training for salespeople, really teaching them internal motivation.
Internal motivation and how to be clever. You know what I mean? I think some of those spraying and pray emails are, I don't want to say they're necessary, but I get it. I get it. There are targets you want to get out there, but you can be clever with that as well.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I
can
mean?
have
Like I
fun with
said,
it, be
you can do
different.
it by vertical. You can do it by these people live here, and I have something to say about that. You know what I mean? I'm from New Jersey. I told too much. I'm from New Jersey. You're from New Jersey. We have something. Let's go find my New Jersey people and say something. There's ways to do it, and
Absolutely.
there's ways to be clever and intelligent with it as well. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
completely agree. And personalization and information allow you to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
So tell me about marketing on the side of marketing. So I'm a big marketing guy. I love account-based marketing. I love this
Mhm.
direction that we're going. There's a lot of branding, lead gen. There's this whole software for sales it's just a huge growing sales industry, right? Everyone's
Yeah,
shifting to software for sales. And also there's this huge workforce
shift.
thing going on, a shift. Yeah. It was it was resigning, and now it's shifting, and now it's some hold. It's a lot of different things, and you see it on all levels. um for marketing and for software for sales, how do you see this shift affecting our future growth? Software for
Hmm.
sales company, it's an evolving arena. There's a lot of people moving over there. It's a heavy move. They're coming from different areas too. There's so many software for so many people selling SaaS right now that have
Hmm.
never sold anything in their lives, which is a
Yeah,
very unique corporate America feel to it.
yeah. That's
And I
That's
know I'll put you on the spot
that's
here,
put you on the
Derek. Yeah.
spot, but I think it's a multi-tiered question too. I think it would go back to um, I like to think of no matter what you're selling, it helps if you're interested, if you're new selling a new SaaS product. It would help if you have a bit of passion for the actual product itself. I
Yeah.
think it helps. I think it helps massively. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question
No, no,
correctly.
no. And I don't think, I think I gave you a too big of a question, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think, I think that the direction where I was going is SaaS sales is something you can do from anywhere. I can
Yeah.
sell remotely. People shifting careers, they're no longer restricted by the location of the job or their location, or maybe even, workspace or whatever. So I just think that I think there's going to be a huge excel in the space. I think there's going to be some companies that really, really start to take over, and I think it's going to be those companies that really create that awesome culture for
I
salespeople.
was just going to say that the awesome culture, also the right coaching and strategy to get your new people on board,
That's
right?
part of the culture. That onboarding and
That
training, I think, is everything with culture.
absolutely. I think, that's going to keep growing.
Yeah.
I talk to sales influencers all the time, and I think it's important because, like you said, there's new people coming into SaaS who've never sold, but they're going to need some coaching. They're going to need some training. They're going to need to listen to people like us and tell them, how to do it. Some
Yeah.
some of my best practices, but also figure out what works for you. And that takes time. That definitely takes
Yeah.
time, but I also think it takes the right management as well to support their teams,
I
because we
agree.
are remote now, so it's a bit different. So potentially having meetups every quarter or a couple times a year with the wider with your sales pod or your sales
Yeah.
team is
Yeah.
important. Getting together, talking about what works, what hasn't worked, or what's new out there, who we need to be prepared to sell against.
Yeah.
How to handle objections creatively. I
This
think that's going to be important.
this may be the age of the sales manager, to be honest with you, now that I think about it, because salespeople can work remotely, but now as a sales manager, I've still got to maintain a sales culture from a remote
Yes.
team now. I've now got to learn how to train and develop people differently than I did before, because I just can't stand over their shoulder while they're sitting at their desk all day long.
I agree with that. I think it's a shift from, and I don't think all managers are like what I'm about to say, but
No.
I think it's a shift from tracking sales to influencing
Mm,
sales,
well
right?
said.
You
Yeah.
need to be that kind of manager. I'm not just here to track how many things you've done all week, but I want to help influence that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I like that because it was monitoring, right? And you could even see it when we all went with the digital transformation. People are like,
Hmm.
well, but how do I know if they're working? Was like the question I would hear all the time. And then you'd have people like they had little like clock in things. They could tell you if you were moving your mouse on your computer or not. I mean, I heard all different kind of
Oof.
micromanaging
I definitely
techniques.
never experienced that.
It was never with me. I tried, I
Right.
promise you, but I talked to people who were like, yeah, I got to go move the mouse for a couple minutes. Why? Because if I don't move it every XYZ, then it shows I'm not working. And so
Yeah.
you're right. It was tracking to now helping them, helping build their internal motivation so that
Yeah.
when the wife or the husband go wild, or you have another area of your life that causes a distraction, you're still able to be that person you are, even though you're over there, and you don't get to come back into the workforce and realign again. You have to stay in that house. And also, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to check in on you once or twice a week, and we're not going to have our team meet up except for once a quarter. So it's a lot of, you can feed me whatever I need to hear as long as the numbers fluff, I
Mm.
could find out later on. So I think it's really, this has to be a lot of trust from that manager. And I'm with you 100%, Derek. I think it all comes with onboarding and training. I think the next level of onboarding and training are really going to define the next companies, because those are the employees that are going to feel valued and
Yeah.
they're going to feel appreciated. In this generation, people would rather have training and investment in them than even money. People,
It's
it's
true.
it's crazy. So I really believe that's going to be a big shift in the coming years.
And I also think with managers and salespeople, it's going to be important to be more collaborative with each other as well. I think that I know in my career, I was very lucky to have some managers who, this was pre-pandemic, obviously, who wanted to go on certain sales calls with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never nervous by that. I never
Yeah,
thought of it as them checking up on me as, oh, we're going to go out there and get this together. And I'm going to
yeah.
learn from this person. They're going to learn from me. And I think now that things are opening up again, maybe there's room for some of that a bit more
I,
now too.
I think room for it is even an understatement. We've all been isolated in our own
Yeah.
rooms and our own houses. I think you're right. Not only onboarding and training, but curating opportunities to collaborate and to connect.
And you're all
Is
then you're all in it together, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if I'm disconnected with you, I feel alone, even if we're working on the same project.
Yeah.
Even if I jump on a Zoom with you once a week, let's be honest, this is not connection. This is
Yeah.
nice. It's a piece, it's a small piece, but it doesn't radiate the same way that heart to heart does and a human being does.
But while we are over video, it doesn't have to just be checking in on numbers. It's to let's talk about the whale of an account that you're going after. You
Or
know what I
let's talk about
mean?
your family. Let's
Your
talk about how
family.
you are as a person today. Tell me about your life, Derek. How you feeling?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's, isn't it interesting how we're talking about sales and marketing and it's coming back to emotional intelligence, right? It's
but we're all marketing or selling to who? Human beings,
human beings.
right? To
Yeah,
people. The robots haven't taken over completely.
man, we're shifting back to being human again, right? We got all this technology, then we're like, all right, a little too automated and robotic here. Let's try to find our way back to being human again.
Of course, and that goes back to one of the fundamentals of sales, which is relationship building, right? There's no technology out there that can beat that.
No, there's not, and
I
there's no
don't think so.
script.
I haven't seen it yet. Let me know.
No, there's no script. There's no click funnel. There's nothing like that that will help build relation. That's human to human. That's real listening. You know,
100%.
and I think that especially as we look at, I mean, it's almost going to be measurable because
Mhm.
your relationship and your purchase with your first person in SaaS, their renewal is heavily dependent on that first purchase. Whether they continue with you or engage and do all the other pieces that's important for that software company is heavily invested on the relationship they had with that first salesperson.
Right.
And if their expectations were met properly, all those little things. And if you followed up with them to make sure that they're enjoying and utilizing and engaging in the product, this is part of a salesperson's job. And it's exactly as you said, Derrick. It's reminding ourselves that we're human again.
Doing it, and we're trying to become, as I said earlier, that trusted partner, right?
Mm,
That go-to source
yeah.
for information for, when after you sold to that customer and, you've learned that they just raised money, so they're going to hire more people. They might need more of your products,
Absolutely.
and you've built that trust with them where, hey, yeah, we are having some success with this. Let's talk
Yeah.
about landing and expanding, right?
Absolutely.
One.
And being that trusted partner starts at the very beginning. I know it sounds different for y'all, but like if you are a trusted partner before they're your customer, that will be your relationship for life. Sometimes the client just doesn't fit. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And it's okay to walk away from that. It's okay to be,
Absolutely.
and it actually helps you sell down the road because you don't have to struggle with this ethical dilemma of, am I getting the right person, the right product? So I think trusting in the relationship, trusting in the long play, trusting in the human aspect of things, and find a way to be original, y'all.
Right.
Find a way to be fun. Find a way to get noticed. I guarantee when Derrick and I both scrolling through our inboxes, if there's nothing that catches our eye that's funny or at least witty, delete, 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 delete. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back to what we were talking about,
Uh-huh.
being a trusted partner and building
Yes.
relationships. It's think about in your career in the past when you may have sold something or introduced someone to a new platform, and they moved on to another company and remembered you.
Mm,
Took your experience with them.
yeah.
And even potentially, if you move to another job yourself, you remember that buyer.
Absolutely.
What a pleasure they were to work with. It
Derrick,
works.
I've gotten clients within the last year that I met in other jobs more than 15 to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I built a relationship, because I was honest, because I didn't take the call as, oh, is this going to be a deal or not? Nope, it's not. All right, I'm out of here. I don't care. I invested in the person, the relationship. Wasn't a good fit, didn't end up being a client, but they ended up being a client down the road. And I think yeah, man, it is people don't care if your product's great. They don't. They want to work with your product, but they don't want to work with you. They'll go find something else. I guarantee it because I do it all the time. There
And
are,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I'm listening. I'm loving this. This is great.
No. There are just, as I said, there are overlaps. There are alternatives. There are so many different things. And yes, you may have the best user experience and the best data and the best all those things, but if the person doesn't like you, they'll just find something else and they'll rationalize it because they
Mm.
make that decision with emotion and then they justify it with the logic.
What's another great form of um, another way to find more leads? I'll just say the answer. I'm answering myself myself here, which is a referral, right?
Oh, the best
But what does that come
leads.
from? That comes from a good relationship that you've had with
Mm-hmm.
the buyer, right? And then obviously a product that's working well and checking in with them. That's how you get that's a referral. What's
Mm-hmm.
better than that?
Absolutely. And what a better way to serve a client than to know that you can ask for a referral comfortably, right? That's the beautiful place when you're like, no, I did so much. I went over and above, over delivered, outweighed their expectations by a million.
Yeah.
Easy for me to ask for a referral. They'll be honored to give me one now.
I'm possibly even honored to, give you the introduction. Oh, let me write the email and introduce you to so and so, and you're in
Yeah, and if y'all haven't
in the
closed, listen, this is
door.
a little tip for you. If y'all haven't closed a referral within the last year, you're doing something wrong. One, right? Two, you're missing out on all the best sales because referrals are the best
The
sale, man. They
best.
love you already. The alignment's already there. It's like connecting with a friend of a friend. I mean, it really, really is. And so if you're not asking for referrals, I would challenge you that you're not building relationships up front. Double down on that and do make your standard over delivery and make your standard asking for that referral. That is Derrick, there's something we forget to talk about all the time. Every day, it's got to be referrals, man, and just asking for the deal.
Yeah.
Well,
asking for it, and people are happy to help.
they really
I
are.
found in my experience, they are.
Yeah,
They're happy to help.
they're happy to
Unless
help a
you
human. They're happy to help a human.
exactly, they're happy to
Be
help a
human.
human,
Yes.
being human, and rarely I find people say no.
100%. Yeah. It may be some conditions or something like
Right.
that, but if you're bringing value and you're coming in from an equal posture,
100%. Yeah.
yeah,
Bringing value.
people, it's, and here's the thing, they're not doing it because they're a compassionate, beautiful person. It's because they want to feel good, right?
Yes.
Helping you makes me feel good, right?
Nailed it, Chris.
And so you have to have an equal love and respect for the giving and for the taking. Because if you don't feel that you can take, you feel that there's a lack of abundance in the world, lack of information, lack of money, lack of value, lack of whatever it is. So if you overgive and you believe in your value, taking and receiving should be an easy part of it.
And as a marketer now, I think case studies are a way of you're asking for, like a referral.
Yeah,
That's what these are for, right? They're helping you
absolutely.
grow your business.
Absolutely. Derrick, man, I love it, man. I really appreciate you showing up here. And I think what, one cough? I think we flowed through this thing, dude.
Just felt
Here
another
we
one.
go.
I literally felt another one coming on as you were saying that. So
Well, I
thank you.
got you right when you're drinking out the pink coffee cup, so that's all
Thank
right.
you.
Well, listen, this was great, y'all. For you don't know, you can follow Derrick. Derrick, are you on? Where are you at? Where can they follow you?
I'm just on LinkedIn at the
He's
moment.
just on LinkedIn. He's
Yeah.
barely on LinkedIn, y'all. If you want to connect with Derrick, you gotta go check out Owler. Okay, that's how you make this happen. And listen, if you got any specific questions for Derrick, he's a quick responder on LinkedIn, so he can get him there for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Derrick. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. Loved your insight, loved your heart, and you can tell when people are when their intent is in the right place. And the door's open for a lot of people. You don't have to be a good person to have success in life, but you can tell when people are fulfilled and successful because their intent is in the right place. And you can see from you fulfillment and success and happiness, and that. I always love to see that, man. So thanks a lot for being here.
I am very much. Thank you, Chris, for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Thank you for showing up today. Leads to growth. Everything leads to growth. So make sure you put some of this stuff to work. And if you haven't been certified already as a CPSP or CPSL, make sure that you do that. Why? Because our certifications help you take these great ideas, these nuggets of opportunity of growth, and help you discipline yourself through commitment and consistency to implement those into your daily habits and patterns. And that's what this is all about. We are here. We want to be here. It just takes a little bit every day to get there. So make sure that you like, comment, and share, put all the stars, and we'll see you on the next podcast, y'all. That's Leads to Growth in NASP.